Greetings and welcome to the Dream Syndicate. Today, we're working on Krampus and painting an art doll with acrylics. So let's get crafting. Let's start things off with filling Krampus's mouth in with a dark purple tone. Next, we're going to cover Krampus's head with this sort of Pepto-Bismol pink color, because there's no reason why ancient evil and savagery can't be pink. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new here and want to join me making an imaginary reality, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Okay, I've just about all the base tone of Krampus covered here. Next, in just a moment, I'm going to show you how I laid out my color palette to paint this art doll head. I'll put a list of the different colors I used in the pinned comment, but I'll describe how the palette's actually laid out itself. Putting white in the middle, I then put all my earth tone togethers in one section, and then all my jewel tones together in another section of the palette. Then, since I already did a color study, I'm just trying to mix colors that are kind of close to what I did in the study. I'll leave a link in the upper right hand corner where you can see how I designed the art doll and did that color study. I'll pre-mix a bunch of tones with my acrylic paints, and this way I can just kind of play with variations on that as I'm painting the art doll head. Here I'm just going to put a red tone up Krampus's nose. Even though I'm painting something that's completely fantastical, I'm still being realistic in the ways that I apply the paint. I'm using lighter tones in areas that are less likely to get, say, direct sunlight. So like the inside of your ears, or your eye sockets, or around your mouth. I do allow myself to get fantastical with the individual color choice. So on a pale-skinned person, this color might be kind of blue, but I use this washed out purple. I go over with a few different tones and all the different colors sort of show through, and you'll see how it finally turns out when it's all done. Staying true to that idea that I want to keep some realism about this, the areas that would have the most exposure to, say, sunlight, like the nose or the eyebrow ridge, so they get the most warm, dark color. So in this case, a sort of darker shade of pink compared to the rest of the colors I'm painting. I'll go from these really exaggerated tones and then try to knock them back with a more modulated medium tone and sort of blend the two areas together so it transitions more smoothly. My color choices are based in color theory, so I'm picking colors that are related to one another or that I know coordinate with one another. Here I'm putting a thin layer of muted purple tone over top of the eye socket. The cool thing is with each thin layer of paint, you can still kind of see the underlayer, so all those tones I'm putting down on the eye socket, you can kind of see coming through. I'll spend a little bit of time putting down this reddish pink tone, that again I'll end up knocking back with a more subtle color later on. What are some of your favorite characters from myth and folklore? Let me know down in the comments below. Maybe I'll get around to working on some of them here on this channel. I'm just going to add this green tone here. Similarly to the eye sockets, you want the areas under the chin to be a bit lighter because that's also going to not get a lot of sun exposure. Now the part that always stresses me out, painting close to the eye. I'll use this dark red tone that's going to contrast with the eyelid and the eye so it'll draw more attention to the eye and make it a bit of a focus. A character's cheeks are one of those areas I struggle back and forth to hit the right note between a nice red tone or something that's more muted, and hopefully I hit something in between those 2 points as I work. Whenever I paint a character's teeth, I usually put the tiniest bit of yellow ochre or a brown tone into it, so it's just not a pure, blinding, brilliant white. And here's Krampus's tongue that I'll glue into his head later on. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to join me making imaginary reality, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Until next time, make believe!